ولا تعجل بالقرآن من قبل أن يقضى إليك وحيه وقل رب زدني علما.
And Al-Imam al-Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala is a sign from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in memorization. He's a sign from the signs of Allah. Ayatun min ayatillah. That's how some of the scholars used to say. Ayatun min ayatillah. Sign from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in where? In memorization. Al-Imam al-Zahabi also mentioned in his book Siyar. And it's a long thing, but we will mention it inshallah. وقال محمد ابن أبي حاتم الوراق سمعت حاشد ابن إسماعيل وآخر يقولان. Muhammad ibn Abi Hatim al-Warraq said, I heard Hashid ibn Ismail and others said, كان أبو عبد الله al-Bukhari يختلف معنا إلى المشايخ البصرة. طيب, it's a long hadith, it's a long narration. What it means that there was Imam al-Bukhari was traveling with two people. And this travel was not for nothing. This traveling was in seek of narrations, hadith, and knowledge. And while they were in search of the hadith, while they were learning and taking hadith, these two people that were with al-Bukhari were always writing down. Were always what? Writing down the hadith that they are hearing from the Shaykh. And Al-Imam al-Bukhari never used to write. Imam Bukhari would never used to write down. Up to the fact that after 16 days, these two people will always ask al-Bukhari, you are always coming with us, but you are not writing anything. You are always coming with us, but not writing anything. After 16 days, al-Bukhari, he said, you both are always asking me about why I'm not writing and so on. So present to me, both of you, present to me what you had written down. And so they presented to al-Bukhari what they had written down, and it was more than 15,000 hadith that they had written down. 15,000 hadith during the 16 days. And al-Bukhari would read to them all of the 15,000 hadith from his memory. Al-Bukhari would read what? All those 15,000 hadith from his where? From his memory. These two people were writing down and al-Bukhari was memorizing. Up to the fact that the two people, they said that we would check what we have written down, whether is it correct or not, to what al-Bukhari had memorized, to see whether what we had written down was correct or not. By what? The memorization of al-Bukhari. And then al-Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala said, do you both think that I am coming along with you two for nothing and I would waste my days? Naam. And then these two people, they said, with that we knew. فَعَرَفْنَا أَنَّهُ لَا يَتَقَدَّمُهُ أَحَدٌ. With that occasion, we knew that there is no one that precedes al-Bukhari. There was no one that precedes what? Al-Bukhari. And also another hadith, you should all return back, another narration where you should all return back to Siyar also, where Al-Imam al-Bukhari were coming to a place. And this place, there were many fuqaha and people of hadith also. Where many fuqaha. Fuqaha is people of rulings, religious rulings, faqih. What? Of jurisprudence, aywa. And al-Bukhari came, they heard that al-Bukhari was about to come. And so 10 people from that place, they say that let us test al-Bukhari, whether he is as how they said him to be. And so what do they do? They gathered, each one of them, 10 people, each one of them would take 10 hadith. And they would distort the narration of the hadith from the narrators of the hadith. For every hadith, there are chain of narrators, correct? And there are narration of the hadith, correct? They would distort it. narrators of the chain of narrators from hadith A, they will put it at the hadith of F, for example, and they will distort all of them together, and then which brings each one of them will do 10 hadiths, which means there are a total of 100 hadith, correct? And when Bukhari came, they told Bukhari, or they asked al-Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala, do you know of this hadith narrated by Fulan, 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 and the hadith is this? And al-Bukhari will say, I have never heard of it. I do not know of it. Same thing, all the way where a person finishes his 10 hadith and move on, all the way to the last of the 100 hadith, all of them, each one of them individually, al-Bukhari will say, I do not know of this hadith. I do not know of them. Up to the fact where the people of that place knew that what they were doing was testing al-Bukhari. They knew the maqsad of them, the reason why they are doing that. And al-Bukhari rahimahullah ta'ala, after they finished the 100 hadith and say, I do not know of this hadith, al-Bukhari turned to the first person and he said, as for your first hadith, then the chain of narrator should have been this, the hadith is this. The second of your hadith, the narrators of the hadith is this, and the hadith is this. All the way to the end. This shows the memorization of al-Bukhari. Not only did he memorize the narrators and the chain, he knew from the start that this person questioned him this hadith. This person questioned him this hadith from number 1 to number 10, each of them individually. So these are some of the narrations that shows the memorization of al-Bukhari, which brought many of the ulama to say that al-Bukhari is from the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in memorization.